Hey, thanks for joining me on the Mod Golf YouTube channel. I am Colin Weston, your host, and today got a good friend, someone that we've been hanging out with a little bit in the last few months in real life, and loving what they're doing, and just had him on the podcast on our long form audio version. Which, hey, after you watch this, why don't you click below in the comments, in the notes, and check that out because we had a great conversation with that entrepreneur and founder, and the name of that gentleman is DeLavallade, and Ty is the founder and president of Deuce. And you know what? I'm not going to give any more spoilers. I'm going to say what Deuce does and why they do it. I'm going to bring Ty on right now and let him tell our audience, tell you, our viewers, what Deuce does and why Deuce does it. So, hey, Ty, good to see you again, man. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Colin? Good to be here, man.
Good, good, good. Hey, so yeah, don't know if I want to call it an elevator pitch, but go for it. Tell everybody out there what's going on with Deuce, what you do, and even more importantly, why you do what you do.
Deuce is a golf, tennis, pickleball lifestyle brand that falls into many categories. We design and manufacture headwear, belts, golf gloves, cigar cases, humidors, lighters, torches, travel bags, and we also have an amateur tour. That's who we are. We've been in business for about 3 years, and we're jamming, and we're ready for the next three.
You are ready to take it to the next level. So on the podcast, we did talk about all the great things that Deuce is doing, bit of the backstory of Deuce and what you're doing before that led up to the creation of Deuce a little more than 3 years ago, and your charity Give First mentality there, and what you're doing with the Deuce Am Tour and some of the other charitable platforms you have with Deuce Cares also. So I want to focus on you, my friend. I want to talk more about Deuce around the culture and the leadership. So from what I've seen, I haven't spent a ton of time with you, but I just pick up this vibe from you, especially around the other staff in your team. When I've seen you at the PGA show and also at the Invitational, the tournament that you so graciously invited me to back in January. So tell us about leadership a little bit. What you consider maybe from mentors, or who inspires you that you see that you've picked up good habits and inspiration. And so tell us a little bit about the culture and your leadership style with Deuce.
So culture of Deuce is, I use the word open and free. I mean, I want to be able to give them an opportunity, and my team, them being my team, an opportunity to share, design, and create what they feel is going to take the brand to the next level. Obviously, I started off the company with everything was my idea. It was like having a racquetball in your hand, and you get an idea, you throw it against the wall, and it comes back. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, this is great. But we want to create a culture around freedom, a culture around openness and creativity. That's the goal here. And we want everybody to come in and contribute, and not just be. We want you to be thinkers and creators and doers.
Love that. Love that. So sounds like you really empower the team, and sounds like you're not a micromanager at all. I know a lot of founders, I'm not going to name them because I'm friends with some of them, and usually it's guys. It's because us guys have a tendency of doing this, thinking we have all the answers to everything, whether it's ego or you don't want to show weakness. But from what I pick up here, you have no problem putting it out there, saying, you know what, I've got gaps here. I don't have that skill or experience. And in fact, you can't do everything. So you ask for help, and you bring people in either as advice or even people as part of your team. So talk a little bit about that, as far as how you approach that, as far as putting yourself out there, being a bit vulnerable with what you're not able to do, but still have that strength and conviction, and balancing that as an entrepreneur that, hey, I've got this, even though there's some things I don't have.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't have, they say you wear 17 hats, and you can't wear all 17 hats well. I mean, there's got to be some gaps in your experience, gaps in your thinking, gaps in your creativeness, things that you do very well and things you suck at. I think I kind of know the things that I suck at. The goal is to try to find people to come in and fill those spaces where they can do, where they're awesome, then that's where you can go focus on the things that you can focus on. One of my mentors said, look, I hire smart people. Yeah, I hire the best of the best in that specific space so that they can come in and do their job because I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room.
What's the line there that if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room? Something like that?
Or new friends. If you're the smartest friend in your group, then you need to get a group, a new group of friends. So it's the same way. I try to surround myself with thinkers and creators and people who think off the cuff, and they inspire me on a daily basis.
Love that. Love that. So, and I also know that you kind of think outside of the golf industry between fashion, apparel, lifestyle, music, performance. There's all these other ingredients that you pull in to create the magic that is Deuce. So I also understand part of what you do, and it helps to extend the brand and kind of build kind of authenticity and really cultivate trust with you, and that extends to the brand. And I think there's something coming up. I think by the time we release this, it may have happened already, coming up this Saturday, but I believe your Ice Cube is going to be opening for you in DC for a certain talk. So go for it. Tell us about that. What's going on Saturday?
Well, that sounds a lot bigger than what it is, but it sounds great to me. Yes, Ice Cube's opening up for me. Very good friend of mine, Ron Busby, who's the president of the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. He and I had a good conversation around the Deuce Amateur Tour. And I asked him, I said, look, I'm always trying to build business and relationships. I want to be able to, we're having this AM tour going into 10 cities across the US, and sponsorship and exposure is obviously important. Well, golfers too, because we got to fill the seats in the golf carts. But I said, how can we go into the cities that you have chambers and align ourselves with the chambers and give the businesses that are members and the chamber an opportunity to participate in what we're doing? And he loved it so much, he came up with another 10, 12 ideas. We talked earlier about people giving you ideas, but this time all his ideas were gems. But one of the gems was me coming to speak at the U.S. Black Chambers National Conference there in DC this weekend. And so I'm going to be speaking in one of the segments, which is called Blacks in Sports. So Ice Cube's going to be talking before myself, and then he's going to be talking about his big three, which is his competitive, basketball league that he has that's going across the U.S., which is a 3-on-3 tournament. And then we're going to come in right after him and talk about Deuce and the AM Tour. And there we go. Yeah, baby. We're going to talk about what we're doing with the AM Tour and how it's going to change the game a bit. Looking good there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, that just happened. Seems like I just magically I'm repping the brand here. So I don't know. Do I get a cut on the profits of this video? Oh, wait a second. We don't get paid for this video, but that's not why we do it here. It's not why we do all these other great things. And I love what you're talking about here, because you're putting yourself out there authentically to build. It's not necessarily networking, but you're cultivating relationships. You're putting yourself out there and establishing yourself as a thought leader in the space that you're just so passionate about, and to support others. And that just helps the brand, incredibly as you move forward day by day. Consistently is the work that you do. So I've got to say that up here in Vancouver, I get people, I wear this hat, I wear the Muni hat anytime that I play a municipal course, which I'll be playing tomorrow. And people are like, where do you get those hats? So I love those hats. So, and I wear this also, the Deuce, because it's part of our Sunday men's group that we have. We throw some money into the pot there, and on the par threes, we have what's called a Deuce pot. So if you get a two, you get a sleeve of balls. So I'm more than happy. The couple times I've won is I have the Deuce hat on when I win the Deuce pot, which hey, I love.
I love that. I need to get out there to Vancouver physically, but also need to get the brand and some clubs up there. But I'm about to lose my window of opportunity because the winter is coming.
It is. Well, here, like Seattle, we do live in a rainforest. We do play all year round, even though it's a little bit wet. I grew up in Toronto, very similar to the weather in Chicago that you grew up in there. In the wintertime, you're not playing golf, my friend. It is cold. But we play all year round here. It's good. So maybe, I don't know. I know someone in Vancouver. Maybe they should be repping the Deuce brand for you. I guess we have to have this conversation. We'll take this offline on the side.
We'll take that offline. I do know the guys who run the Vancouver I think it's like the Vancouver Golf Association or something like that. I got to remember his name, but I met some guys at the Vancouver Golf Show some years back. So I think his name is Fraser something.
Oh
But
yeah, I know him. Yeah, Fraser
yeah,
Mulholland.
yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, Fraser Hall.
Yeah,
Good
I know
dude.
some people. I know some
Yeah,
people. There you go.
yeah.
I get out every once in a while. I get out of the room here and actually talk to people, even though COVID's kind of prevented that a little bit. But we do. So hey, I've seen other posts on LinkedIn with what you're doing. I saw one a couple months ago of you in your new warehouse space that's in, I think, somewhere around Atlanta, and so things are scaling. So let's finish up with that, because every entrepreneur with a startup, an early growth company, your dream is it to get traction, to find product market fit, get those customers, and then to start sharing word of mouth, and then it starts to expand. So even though that's what you want, it's like, woohoo, we're scaling. But at the same time, it's like, oh geez, we're scaling. How do we do that without tripping and falling on our face? So talk to me about that, as far as the positives and the challenges of having a company that now has some traction and you're starting to scale.
Healing is tough because you have, as an entrepreneur, you're a dreamer. You're a dreamer, you're a thinker, you're a creator, and that's how you got to where you are. Not every entrepreneur starts with that in mind. Some of them start with the finance and the budget. Others started with the concept, and sometimes they actually merge, and sometimes they never merge. For me, I'm a creative. I like to design stuff. There are things that I'm not fantastic about, with, sure. And, but right now we are in the midst of doing some fundraising and trying to get more capital to grow the business beyond where we are now. So in the midst of looking for capital, they have specific questions that they're looking for answers. Some of them buy into you, the visionary, the person, because they know, if you've done all of this with this amount of money, what if I gave you 3 times that? And then I know you can do something even more fantastic with that. So right now we're in that capital fundraising kind of a piece where we get opportunities to chat with people and them fall in love with what we're doing. And others are like, it's not my space. I'm in technology, so you can't create, you can't make this technology. It's just, it is what it is. But where we are in scaling and growth is getting beyond your garage, getting to a distribution center, whether it's a shared distribution center or your own, and then getting to an opportunity where you can get out of working in the business and working on the business. So you're not spending 3 hours a day packing boxes and poly bags and stuffing stuff, and you're answering the phones and you have people to do that for you. That's a part of the process. We're now in a big growth mode. And so we're got money coming in, got capital, got growth, got opportunities and partnerships and sponsorships and alliances that are making it easier to be able to check these boxes. So I think we're getting there pretty close. So we still got a long way to go, but we're definitely closer than we were 6 months ago and 6 weeks ago.
That's, it's all part of the journey, the ups and downs and the in-betweens. I love you just shared so many nuggets of wisdom there, and I just going to touch on a couple of them. The main one I saw there was, don't go alone, as far as these partnerships that you build and you cultivate, and also fill the gaps. Like you said, maybe marketing is not your strength, finance isn't your strength. Once you do start to grow, bring those people in, fill those gaps, be aware of that, and also working at that 30,000 foot level of, as you mentioned, I love that term of, you're working on the business, not in the business. And that's what you need to do as the leader, as the person that's ready to take it with that growth mindset to that next level. That's exactly what you need to do. And the last thing I'm going to mention that I really love that you talked about there is the capital piece there. You have been consistent, moving forward. Sure, you want to scale, you want the hockey stick, the old graph there to go up like this as far as sales and all that. But the fact you've been consistent, that for anybody out there that's an entrepreneur or thinking about, how do I do this? And they watch Shark Tank and they think that's how entrepreneurship works. That's really not how it works. And what you're doing here, you're doing something very, very fundamental. As far as, I didn't go to business school, but I know this. You've got something called customers and then something called recurring revenue. And in a way, your customers up to now have actually funded your business and have increased your runway. So now that you have that, so focus on that as an entrepreneur, get those first couple of loyal customers and just build on that. And now you're ready for you to get investment. You're now worth this much. If you get the investment too early, you give away too much, and as we call, you dilute your valuation or the amount of company you own. And the next thing you know, you own less than 50% of your company. And it's like, I may as well just get a job, right? So I love the approach you're taking and looking at the right time for investments. So that's awesome. Really well done.
It's something I like to share, and I think it's important. Entrepreneurs, sometimes we just get on that treadmill and we're just running, but you're still you're standing in place. And sometimes you have to get off that treadmill, go sit down, and then look back at it and say, where was I going? I had a couple moments, and this is just me being open, where I had to take like a month, and I felt like I just had to slow down. And I've said this before to other people, and they say, what's going on? I said, I got to slow down so I can speed up. And sometimes you do have to slow down, look and see what's really happening with you. Are you really growing the business? Are you scaling it? Or are you actually hurting it by doing it the way that you're doing it? So that's when I decided to launch the Deuce Am Tour and to launch DeucePromo.com, because I realized that, yes, it's cool to sell hats, but you got to sell 50 to 100 hats a day to really kill it, right? That's not easy to do with the same people over and over again. You got to go find new customers, new clients, new opportunities, new advantages, new partnerships. So I decided launch an amateur tour where guaranteed I have 1,000 new people who have maybe don't even have a Deuce hat in their closet. They will now have one, or 3 or 5, and a belt or a glove, and then they know who the brand is. And they have 1,000 followers and friends on Facebook, seeing them post doing this, and on Instagram. So now those 1,000 on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram will see them. Now I have 3,000 more people who know who the hell we are. So for me, it's that power of 4 thing. You got one guy and he's got 4 friends, and those 4 friends got 16. And now you're like, okay, this number is growing. So you could do it the hard way, or you can kind of switch it up and do it, like I said earlier, I think in the other podcast, kind of like Frank Sinatra, do it my way. And maybe the hard way, but it's the way that it's going to work, and it'll be successful.
Love it. Love it. So, hey, why don't we just finish up here, Ty? So why don't you let all of our viewers here know, because we'll include it down below in the notes there to make it nice and accessible for them. But yeah, let us know how people can find out more about Deuce, where they can check out your fine premium products, and perhaps even buy something.
Perhaps. So we have Deuce. So go to deuce.co. That's our website. Deuce.co is the same thing on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Then you have the Deuce Am Tour, which is a 10-city amateur tour from West Coast to up north. That's deuceamtour.com. Go check it out. I promise you, it's the next level for Deuce amateur tours. Competitive, non-competitive flights, guaranteed to have a good time. And then the other brand that we also going to be launching actually this evening at 6 p.m., which is Deuce Promo. This is your get the first. Year is first for you there, Colin. Mary, doing it for you, baby. So DeucePromo.com is a promotional products business that we've decided to launch in addition to what we're also working on. And the goal in that, it has over 100,000 products that any company, golf club, organization, or small size business wants to put their brand on something. Well, we have 100,000 products that you could choose from to put your brand on. So DeucePromo.com, DeuceAmtour.com, and Deuce.co. That's it.
Love it. Love it. So, and just to finish up, I believe, because we've talked about this earlier, that we're going to do a little collab here, because I love what you've got going on, all the things that you're doing, not only the products, but also the culture and the business and the vibe and all the good things you're doing. So I believe we've got, we're going to create a unique link for all of our viewers here. And we're going to have that with a promo code MODGOLF. And I believe we're also going to give them a little percentage off on their first purchase. What are we looking at here, Ty?
15%. King said, so we're going to do 15% off. So you'll be able to go to deuce.co and put in Mod Golf, and you'll get 15% off of your entire purchase. So
bam, bam.
go
There you
get
go.
some.
You can look as good as Ty and I do, if not even better. There you
Yeah,
go.
if you don't have the hair like Colin and that good Matthew McConaughey flip under, then you get, hey, you can be as cool as, or just get close.
there you go. I'll take that as a compliment. I'll take whatever I can
Yeah,
get.
no, definitely as close as you, not as close as Matthew McConaughey. So you're easier to get to him. He's at a different level than both of us. So he's got a different swag.
That he does. Well, hey, why don't we finish up there? Ty DeLavallade, my friend, good to hear all the things you're doing with Deuce, with the products and beyond. Thanks for sharing your entrepreneurial journey, both here and on the podcast, which once again, I encourage people to click below and have a listen to that, because that was a fantastic conversation. So why don't we finish it up there? So, hey, Ty, thanks for joining me on the Mod Golf YouTube channel.
Yeah, man. See you in LA on 23rd of September. Let's go. Deuce.